Jennifer, could you do roll call, please?
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Dickerson?
Here.
Ms. Elliott? Here. Ms. Gerber?
Here.
Mr. Pollard? He's absent. And Mr. Thacker?
Here. All right, if we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, again, thanks for coming tonight. We have a pretty busy schedule, so we're going to jump right into the approval of the previous meeting minutes for July 10th, 2012, which was a regular meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look over them. I'd entertain a motion to adopt.
Make that motion.
Second. First and a second. Any comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay. Second set of meetings you have in front of you are July 17th, 2012 special meeting. That will be the first special meeting. This time I entertain a motion.
Make that motion.
Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? This is on the first special meeting. Roll call vote, please, Jennifer.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Passes 5-0.
This time I need a motion for the approval of the minutes for July 17th, 2012, the second special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you. Everybody have a copy of the bills? They have time to go over those and look through them? Anyone have any questions on them? If not, I entertain a motion to accept and pay the bills.
The motion will take the bills.
Second. Any other discussion on the bills? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay. All right, thanks. Police chief, if you would, sir.
Mayor, council.
Chief?
As usual, we had a lot of stuff going on. Some of the more noticeable events that I put in here during the last part of June, first week of July, we started having things turned up missing off of people's porches. And the first was a like flower arrangement type things, and then you had we went from there to yard ornaments and things like that. When we had first 2 or 3 or 4 missing, we started investigating a serial type of person stealing these things. One of the houses just happened to have a security system where she took a picture of the vehicle and the person that was taking it. It was pretty grainy, but we could figure out what the car was. It was a 2002 black Maxima. So that's the only thing we had, that and a blurry picture of what appeared to be a female. So Officer Wood investigated. It took a lot of time on OLEG, which is our reporting system that we have now, our new system. And we found, or he discovered, that the only 2002 black Maximum came back to a woman in Pierce Township. So he went to that residence, and there everything was. So she was in need of help, actually. So anyway, all those items were recovered and returned to the people up there in the neighborhood of Sedona Ridge, which is on South Creek, Shank, and Sparrow. We had a couple of things left over, which are still hanging in the pots. I'm keeping them alive back there in the back. So it's like I'm rolling things back there. But they were. We had an accident where the guy took off. It was on 80 West Main Street, and we found him in Pierce Township. He was arrested, and the reason he took off is because he didn't have car insurance. So, and sometimes that happens. A couple of days ago, we had Overdose at 25, suspected overdose at 25 Rory Lane. The female was unresponsive and transported by UT, and she did not make that. She did not make it. Administratively, it's been a big CIT training, crisis intervention training. It's pretty big around here. It was where I came from too. As a matter of fact, on all your departments and even the jail personnel, corrections and things like that, this is how many officers that are in that CIT training. CIT training is to teach officers how to better deal with, folks from Life Point and things like that. Well, I noticed that Amelia did not have anyone on here. So Officer Marsh is going to be in this training in September. It's 4 days. He's very enthused about going. And actually, the Claremont County CIT training gives a $750 scholarship or a grant for that, for his hours, of which he won't use that many hours, but we still get that money for police department. So that's taken care of. We'll take care of that. The big thing now, and we're really working hard with the Recreation Commission, is National Night Out. That's August the 7th. I'll have flyers in the back in case somebody wants to take those. You have flyers up where you're sitting too. And that's August the 7th. It's at 6:30. We all meet at Grove Park, and we're going to have a parade route down to Shank. I guess they did that in the old days, and we're going to try it again. So once we're down there, we'll get to eat hot dogs, listen to music, and things like that. I think last year, the amount of people that attended were measured by the amount of hot dogs that were eaten. I think I remember you guys saying that. That was my first appearance at Amelia, so it's special. So that will be we're working hard on that, and invite the community to come out. And it's all about crime prevention. If you're in the parade, make a sign or banner or something and carry it along. You can be right in the parade. Kids can decorate their bikes and all that stuff. So the business meeting, Amelia business meeting, there's nothing to report. Karma Chiefs Association, since it fell in the week of 4th of July, several of the chiefs decided to take off the day after, which was on Thursday and Friday, so we didn't have enough chiefs to make a meeting then, so we didn't have one. If you look at your comparison charts stats from June 11th to June 12th, everything in June of 12 is up. And the mayor's court and fines and revenues was up there again, over $12,000. And I want you to notice on your graph right here that if you look at the graphs that the primary officer is in, it makes pretty much sense that your full-time officers would have the most of that pie right there. But we also have a part-time officer that is doing a heck of a job and working some hours that we need covered there. So he's got a big piece of that pie right there. You go by calls the day of the week and times, and there's your graph on the financial side of the fiscal side of that. And I've talked to the fiscal officer I think it was last week, and right here in the end of this month, it's the 7th month, at the end of the 7th month, we are at around 39% of our just got about 39% of our appropriated funds for the whole police department this year. So we're doing real well.
All right, thanks, Chief. That's all good news. Fire Chief, how are you, sir?
I am well. Mayor, council members, good evening. My name is Gary Alford, the Union Township Fire Department. I've got a brief synopsis of our data that already was sent out, I believe. Total EMS incidents that we responded to in June was 28. 20 of those were during the day, 8 were during the night. Advanced life support, 15. Basic life support, 13. Of those runs, we transported 19 patients. 13 were non-transport. Our average EMS response time was 4.7 minutes for EMS and 5.9 for fire. We also responded to 8 fire incidents for a total of 36 runs. Also during that period, we're here doing fire inspections of commercial type buildings, apartment buildings. We're also out doing flow testing of the fire hydrants, and that will continue on. You'll still see people out there, our firefighters out there doing that. And we have a firefighter assigned that's out painting fire hydrants right now. He has not made his way to the village of Amelia, but we anticipate that that will happen. So we'll see how that works out, and we'll report back later as to that progress. And that concludes my report, unless there's questions.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
They wouldn't paint those blue and white for us, would they?
Let me think about it.
It would be good color coded.
You'll see, as you bring that up, and you're probably aware, as we paint the fire hydrants, you'll see color coding that is required by a number of organizations as to the flow, and the flow is important for us. It lets us know how much water is available from any particular hydrant, so that if we have a larger type fire, we may want to look and look for a fire hydrant that might give us more flow, or we might have to make some type of other arrangements if there's not a lot of flow from a particular fire hydrant. So we've been out doing that for a while, and hopefully we finish up on that here shortly.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Chief. Ricky Roll, Public Works. How are you, Ricky?
Good evening. Doing fine. How's everyone? We'll get right to it. In addition to the routine maintenance, Public Works would involve the following: storm damage. We've had several storms recently, one today actually. And the first storm did the most damage about 3 weeks ago, somewhere in there. It took down several small trees throughout the village. We ended up with 60 cubic yards of yard waste, that's brush and everything. We picked all that up for the residents. I waived at that point the regulations on yard waste where we have to have a 3-foot and bundle. We went ahead and picked up all sizes. That's just for storm damage reasons only. We are currently back at the regulations again for any yard waste on Mondays. That would be in the guidelines. Sidewalk repair on pond. On June 29th, we replaced 2 small sections of sidewalks, 20 pond and between 20 and 22 pond. They became a safety hazard. There's 2.5 inches in the trip hazard. We actually had a few people fall on it. It was relatively cheap. It's $300 in materials and just labor after that. We're still looking for the sidewalk regulations that you'll be putting in later on to any of those. Church Street, we repaired the potholes once again, and we'll do so again right before school. We're mostly just maintaining with gravel because we had nothing else really for any other options. It's mostly in the berm. The back door of the municipal building has become very deteriorated, so we have purchased a new one, and we're going to try to get that scheduled to be put up very shortly. We have it now. It had to be special order. So as soon as I can work it in, we have a couple things come up this week that's pushing the schedule back again. One just today, actually. Damage to Arrowhead Park. Last month I reported vandalism of the park, so it was mounting cost of the vandalism. Unfortunately, the trend is continuing. There have been a lot of damage sustained to Arrowhead Park in recent incidents from March into present. Every swing in that park has been removed, besides the porch swing that was in the gazebo, all damaged beyond repair. I have put together what we need, a list of things to put that park back in shape. I've had residents call me concerned that there's nothing down there left for the children to play on. The list of things, the new swing for the gazebo, repair the spring. It was a spring ride that they broke off. The new infant swing, they broke that in half. The other swing changed it. The total cost is approximately $440, and I'd like to get approval from council to have that purchased so we can put that park back together. Truck purchase, we're moving on pretty quick. The purchase of the truck, we did purchase a 1992 Chevrolet dump truck at auction in Cincinnati. for $6,600. It has 30,000 miles. The truck seems to be in good shape running-wise. We did have to have it towed in, actually, because of a heating problem, which was a stuck thermostat, I believe. I'm going to have all the hydraulics, the brakes, the running gears, and everything's going to be re-looked at and make sure it's roadworthy before winter. There is some minor rust on the bed and the body, which is nothing severe that sandblasting will not take off. At that point, we'd like to get it sandblasted, re-undercoated, repainted, and like I say, with all the other minor repairs that I've done to it, it should be a pretty good truck as a secondary truck only. I still would not want to keep it as a primary truck, but we could use it for several years to come if we maintain mechanical wise, because the engine's in very good shape, and the frame and all that's in excellent shape compared to what we have now. But I would stress that we still look into a purchase of a new truck as the primary truck. One other note is that the International, I haven't put that in your thing yet. I'm checking for maintenance for this winter. We're going to replace all rear tires. They're beyond wear tread, and they run about $500 to $600 per tar. So I will be asking council to have that repair made. Otherwise, I don't think I have traction up and be pushing out. Lastly, let's see. Yeah. Tree damage at Grove Park, same problem with the storm damage. We had several trees snapped off and it was hung up in the air. It was not safe for our department to do it. We don't have the equipment to get up in those trees to get those snags. They call them snags, where they go from one tree to the other. So we had to have a tree company remove them at a cost of $625. I was just told there's another tree down up there from today's storm. I haven't been out there yet. We had trees down on Church Street today, and we removed those. So we'll go out there tomorrow and look at that. And that pretty much concludes my report. If you have any questions?
On the old truck, are we going to just look to send that to auction? Or
Yeah, I think there's a few things I want to take off and put onto the white ones to save money. The 92, that's white. But some of the hydraulics will go into the other truck because the plow that's on the 92 is a manual plow, and I can't get out there and just turn it every time I get ready to plow snow. So I can really take the hydraulic system from the old truck, put onto that truck, so that will save us money by using those parts. And once we do that, yeah, then we can pretty much send it out to auction, whatever we need to do with it.
All right. So I guess at this time, what you're looking for, Ricky, is a motion from council for the approval of $440, so we can put all that, fix all that, and put all that new stuff back into Arrowhead Park.
I got a question.
Sure.
If, right off the top of your head, would you know what we spent for all the damage that's been done at Arrowhead alone?
Over the last several years or just recently?
Well, either or would be good.
We've replaced shingles. We've replaced the swing a couple of times, or pieces of the swing. The spring toy, this is the second time. The first one broke beyond repair, so the one we have now was brought in from another part that was took out because of configuration of the part. I'd say $500 or $600 in just parts, not labor-wise. We had to replace some beams and things that was chipped and broken, things like that. And this would be another $400 and some dollars. So roughly, in the last 3 to 4 years, probably $1,000 in just parts that we have to put into it. And it's a very small part.
It seems like that part seems to take a lot of hits. Chief, is there anything we can do to try to help slow down the vandalism there? I don't know what cameras would cost or anything like that to deter people from...
Other than regular patrol, the problem we have there, that damage probably occur more than likely at night.
Most of them.
And they can hear us coming one way down, probably 3 or 4 blocks away.
Do you think it would help if we put a pole light up to light that park at night, so at least the park itself is lit?
Light is always best.
Maybe that's something we
It
can
currently
look into.
has a light. Duke Energy, they break the lenses out of it.
Okay.
That's what we got right now. They got big old lens, so I don't know if the bulb's even working. But there is a street light put right in the middle of the park.
Maybe
Right
put
there.
a screen around that or something. Anything, they obviously want that light out for some reason, so probably good, maybe put a screen around it.
Guess we need to work on that,
We
trying
need
to
to
secure
sometime.
something around that light, like David said, put some type of screening so they can't actually break the ball.
But they throw
Just hit
off
the
that
screen.
lens every, almost.
So did they take the swing from
No,
the
just broke
gazebo?
it. Oh, no, it was damaged. I had repaired that thing 3 times. This time they broke almost every board in it, except for those 3 across the back seat and a little bit on the side. I don't know what they're using to break those little flat boards out, but we had repaired that on 3 different other occasions, that swing. Now it's just.
Could we look into possibly getting something made of a hardened plastic type swing? to go
Yeah, I
in?
don't know what the cost would be on that.
I don't either.
The cost of wooden one's about $200 and some dollars that I looked into. We can look into it, see if they make something.
Maybe we should wait to repair it till we get the light situation figured out, or at least get the damage stopped. Slow down, I guess they've broken everything.
Well, yeah, it's slowed down now.
There's
There's nothing
not
left.
going to be a whole lot of damage left.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
nothing they can do right now to maintain it.
I just feel
slide down.
bad to slip $400, $500 back in there just to have it broken again.
I know,
Yeah,
I've had a couple emails from concerned residents on the park because they used to use it as a general meeting area. And the problem is the people that use it aren't the ones damaging it, they're the ones that suffer though. The kids have nowhere to play, and they used to meet down there in the evenings and swing on that swing and let their kids play and all that.
Yeah, and that's the closest one to my house. So,
And
I'm very
it
familiar
was a
with it.
very active park for young parents.
I guess that's my feeling. You know, it's sad we've got really good residents out there that enjoy that park, and then we don't exactly know who's actually doing the damage, and for them to suffer, it's just.
Has nobody come forward to say they
No.
suspected anything or seen anything?
No, not on this. Once in a while we catch them in other parks because they leave their names on the graffiti. But that was last year. We caught a couple of them just because they wrote their name there. And the answer that I got from that, it was juvenile, was next time I won't put a name on it.
Well, I know the first person I've asked.
You know, I think we need to, I really think we need to repair the park, but I think also that Ricky needs to put emphasis on putting something around that light. Make sure the light's working. Let's put some kind of screening around the light and get the park up and running again. And then if it happens again, then we'll have to take other drastic measures.
Yeah.
If you
Because
could-
we're throwing good money after bad.
Right, and that's what's happening in several parks, until we can really catch the person. Arrowhead's not the only park that's being damaged, really
Right.
taking a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah.
We had some damage that was soil of the parks. They took feces and ran up and down through the slides with a week ago, and we had to clean that out, those slides. And although there was a name given to us, but without, you can't, that's, I don't know what I'll have to
Or
do.
DNA samples.
On the light sheet.
That's the only one.
I know it's a nuisance to us, but there are people.
Right, there's a lot of people who use it.
park.
We have tried to get in our park as much as possible. Since the last few months I've been here, we emphasize that a lot. As a matter of fact, one of the guys did stop a person. It was a fingernail polish that time, and they stopped and they went and got a hold of the right people, and they cleaned it up and everything. And that was just a very young person. When you get in situations like this, it's a handful of people that make it unpleasant for the rest. And it doesn't take very many to do that.
If you could, Chief, let me know if that light's still functional now, or have another one of the officers drive by and see. I'm not sure if it's out. I'm not here at the dark. So
Yeah, we'll check.
And then we can go from there.
Oh, amen.
The light is actually owned by Duke Energy. So if it's out, we can get them to put the lens and ball back in, and we can work with them about covering it.
They may even
Yes.
have a screen or
They might
something.
probably-
Yeah.
It's one of those fiberglass poles that we have throughout town that Duke owns.
I guess I'll make the motion that we pay for the repairs.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yeah.
Passes 5-0.
If you could though, Rick, have the light functional before.
We will do this
install.
before the repairs. I'll start getting things gathered up until they get installed and make sure the lights are good.
And one other note I have for council, while Ricky's here, at one time, council was approached at putting electric at Spencer Shank Park. So Ricky and I have put a program together to put electric in that park. Duke's going to set the meter for free, but the work's going to be done for free as far as putting in the cable, the plugs, and all the wiring. What I'd like to ask council for is to pay for the materials to have that done, to put that in. At one time, we got a quote at $5,000. I think Ricky said we can do it for about $1,800.
A little less now. It's just
So-
probably closer to 15, if that.
I'd like to ask council for a motion not to exceed the $1,500 so we can go ahead and get lighting. For the flag poles, they're not lit, so we're going to put lighting there. We're also going to put electric to the shelter house itself. So if I could get a motion from council for that.
Make the motion.
I have a motion. I have a second. Any discussion on Spencer Shank?
Do we know how much it's going to cost monthly to run all those lights?
You're only going to have the one light, so it's probably going to be minimal. It's not going to be that much. But again, lighting is the whole issue, and we've been lucky so far, and we don't want to push our luck too much on it. So
And the power to the gazebo, I mean, to the shelter would be off unless, designated for some event.
right, there will be
There are
actual
breakers.
power to the shelter. So if somebody wanted to rent it now, they would actually have access to the power where we can turn the power to that on whenever they rent the shelter. But the lights themselves will be a separate circuit, and those lights would stay on.
Would we be able to charge them additional for having the power turned on? What's it going to cost us if they set up a bunch of stuff in it?
Probably not. They're not going to run that much in a one day. I
They're
mean,
not going to be there after dark.
yeah, they're going to hook a radio or something like that. That's it. It also alleviates us from the generator that we take out there every year when we set up to do our Easter egg hunt and things, and everybody hears the generator in the background, and you have to talk really loud to do your function because it's a pretty loud generator, so it'll alleviate that also.
Ricky, did we get the pond sign?
There should be done tomorrow.
Okay.
I talked to the gentleman.
Yeah, because they're still out there at night.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a first and a second.
Oh,
on-
sorry.
That's all right.
I forgot about that.
No, we got a first and a second on the Spencer Shank. Any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yeah.
Mr. Thacker?
Yeah.
I might add that the one sign has been posted for about a month. The closest dusted on. We
Yes.
set up right after the last
Okay.
meeting. We're getting new signs about using nets in our pond.
Yeah, catch
It'd be a
and
catch
release.
and release.
Yes.
Right.
And those are the signs that should be done.
Well, a lot of time, even if they're doing patrol, you can't see them because they're behind the sign, sitting down. So unless, you actually shine a light on the pond, most of the times I can't, I'll glance around just to see. So,
We placed a rules sign up after the last meeting.
Okay.
All right, anything else for Ricky? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do you have anything on recreation? Or
just a little bit, not a whole lot, no. Most of our recreation meeting consisted on follow-up of what I put out last time. We'll be assisting the police department on the National Night Out and, encourage the decorating of the bikes, and that's something new we're going to try. Thought it'd be kind of fun to get people to participate a little more in the parade. We also have our Facebook site up and running. So if you go and do a search of, is it Amelia Village? Amelia Village Recreation Commission. You should be able to find that. Like us, and we'll put everything that's going to be going on for the rec Commission. And really, the only other thing I had is I wanted to congratulate Michelle Ballside on her nomination for the 2012 Orpha Gatch Citizen Award. So I think she deserves a big round. That's all I got.
Well, thank you. Congratulations, Michelle.
Thanks.
Well deserved.
Ms. Danny Spiegel.
Good evening, council. I have my report in writing. Permits issued this month have been mainly fencing. We've pulled, I think I've had one new home. We've had 8 letters I've sent out for violations, parking and grass. But most of those have been closed, all but 2. And you have the 2 that that are still open. I updated all of our permit applications to sort of take in what I think needs to be more pertinent information for applications that are coming in. So those are up on the website now. Last Friday I attended the hazardous mitigation meeting for Claremont County, and I will be working with the county on putting the hazardous mitigation plan for the village together. So I will be meeting with the fire department and the police department and probably maintenance department to getting pertinent information that has to be back to the county by the middle of August. And then attend the next 4 meetings till we get that together. Hopefully they're going to try and push this through because the county's plan is also expired. So we've got to, they're going to try and get this done hopefully by the first of the year. But there's a lot of stuff to go before that. So that's all I have. Is there anything else? Anybody have any questions?
Did Mr. Axe show up?
No.
He did not show up.
No, I've not seen him yet. Just told he was. I told him he was going to be here yesterday.
So we're just going to move forward then with that?
As far as I'm concerned, got to the 31st.
Okay.
Danny, are we just doing preventive right now still? We're not seeing any revenue as of yet, or are you just pretty much catching up?
I'm just trying to catch
Okay.
up right now. It's going to probably be, I think in the next couple months you'll start seeing some revenue come in because, now that I've given people the opportunity, to do things, and most of them have come into compliance. I will say that. They've been very, very good about that. We've got, a few that are playing a game, but it'll work. I work with that. Okay?
All right. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions for Dan? Thanks. Legislation. In front of you, you have the ordinance 0-2012-33. At your special meeting, your second special meeting that you had, which was July 17th, a question had been brought up by council about the Kroger agreement. Since then, we have went back to Kroger. They have revised their agreement and have complied with all the wishes of council to put the money in escrow, and it will stay there until the project completion is done. And at that time, whatever money is left, they'll have a check returned. So that's pretty much what we agreed upon. So to give you a highlight on that's the changes on that ordinance. So at this time, I'll read Amelia Village, Ohio Ordinance 0-2012-33, an ordinance authorizing the village to enter into an agreement with the Kroger Limited Partnership for the improvement of West Main Street and declaring an emergency. This time, I need a motion to waive the readings on 3 separate dates.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Motion
Ordinance 0-2012-33. At this time, I entertain a motion to adopt.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Motion passes.
Ordinance 0-2012-33. This time, I need a motion for the adoption of the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
First, I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Passes 5-0.
All right. I also have two more things to discuss about the Kroger project. I have a request from Kroger's. Basically, they put in a request for an issuance of a liquor for beer and wine. What I am doing right now is I am asking council not to request a hearing in front of the State Liquor Board and to issue those permits to Kroger's. So that's what I'm looking for in the form of a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Does everyone understand? They give us this request, and we can request a hearing if we're not in favor of it.
Oh, okay, so we don't want to have a hearing on it, we want to go ahead with it. I got
Yes,
it.
that's what we want to do. That's my recommendation to council is to move forward with it.
Second.
Have a first, have a second. Any other discussion over this?
This is not to have a hearing, to go ahead and give them an okay. All right.
Yes. Roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay.
Passes 5-0.
And council has been very good at this. I know we've had a lot of special meetings with things moving as fast as they have been moving for us. But I do have to ask council again for another special meeting. We need to have a meeting. It will be a meeting to accept the money for the Krogers and to increase the appropriations to the Main Street Improvement Funds. So we need a special meeting for that as soon as possible. So council can think I am available at any time, so it would be, as soon as we can move on this would be the best.
Can't do it tomorrow, right?
We can do it tomorrow, we'd have to do it at around 8:30 or 8 o'clock. It has to be a 24-hour notice, right?
Is this in order?
Why do we need a special meeting schedule? Can we do it now?
No, we don't have the ordinance drawn up. We have to draw the ordinance up, and there's some language that has to go to the commission, Claremont County Commission over there.
Okay.
Are we going to
We
hear back
were
in a
gonna
day?
do- Can we do it in a 24-hour period, or do we need to give more notice?
We need to give 24 hours notice on a special meeting.
So, Thursday, would Thursday work for anybody?
Thursday's good for me.
I know.
I can,
8 o'clock? Is that a bad time?
I mean, you can all come over to the, I'll see what I can do.
All right, I mean, tried to
I
work
know
it
I work
out.
Thursday and Friday night, but I can possibly
We
switch.
need everything.
Okay.
I won't be here. No, it's no problem.
I don't know how well Thursday's going to work for me either.
Can we, is everybody free tomorrow at 8:30?
I don't think we've got, will we have enough time to post the notice?
Yes.
We just have to post it.
Okay.
So, tomorrow night, 8:30?
We can do it tomorrow night.
It's okay, Susan?
I have some people in from out of town, but I'll see what I can do. I
It should only be, what, 5
5
minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
But we will need everybody here because we will need to adopt it as an emergency. If Mr. Pollitt isn't here, we won't have the necessary votes, so.
Very good for you.
Then we shall set a date for tomorrow at 8:30 in the municipal building for special meeting. We'll draw an ordinance up, right? To accept the money from Kroger's and to increase the appropriations for the Main Street Improvement Fund. So you know what we're. And I would like to thank council for putting forth all that effort. I know we have had a lot of meetings in the last 2 months. And that's all I have at the moment. Do we have any public input?
Are we doing the iGov?
Oh, you're right. I'm glad you said that. Thank you. I'm ahead of myself. We have another ordinance in front of us. I went to a meeting Thursday. Jennifer also went. The county gave us 3 options, basically, on how they're going to do our revenue for next year. And out of the 3, this was the best out of the 3 options that were given to us for the alternative method for our revenue fund. Anybody would like to ask any questions about this?
How was it determined who got what? Wasn't a population, I'm guessing.
It wasn't, no. I did stress our feelings about the population count here in the village. I also stressed I wasn't happy with the numbers as they came out, being that we are the largest per capita village. Yet we didn't receive the largest amount of funds. But again, out of the 3 alternatives, it was by far. When they did it by populace, they took the townships with the villages and the one city, and at that point, we were only going to get about $39,000 in revenue. That was not a good option. So they didn't take the populace with just the villages. When they did the populace, they threw everything into it. So this is basically about what we got last year. It's a little bit less. They just reduced everybody at the same percent. So they've actually taken the same numbers from last year, gave everybody a reduction at the same amount, and that's how they came out with this number.
And in my opinion, it's not the best system. I think they're looking at redoing it. If there's any more local government funds after next year.
So it could all be a moot point after next year.
Right.
Any other questions? With that being said, I'll read it. I'll read Amelia Village, Ohio Ordinance 0-2012-34, an ordinance authorizing the adoption of an alternative method of appropriate of the undivided local government fund. At this time, I need a motion to suspend the rules on 3 separate readings on 3 separate dates.
Smooth.
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yeah.
Yes, 5-0.
This time I need a motion to adopt ordinance 0-2012-34.
So moved.
Second.
The motion, I have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for that. All right, at this time, I'll go back to public input. Do we have any public input? Do we have any council input? Not hearing any public input or council input at this time. I think, Mr. Campbell, we need a motion for an executive session.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss the purchase of property in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G2.
And we will go in executive at 7:40.
No, we need a second and a roll call vote, please.
Yes, I will. I'm just bringing up the time.
Second.
Have a second. Roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay. All right, if you folks would like to stand by, we'll be gone about maybe 5 to 10 minutes tops.
Invite solicitor.
Yes, I would like to invite the solicitor into this meeting, please. If we could go to the back here, please. At this time, I need a motion to come back from the executive session at 8:04.
So moved.
Second?
First, I have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Campbell?
Yay.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yay.
Ms. Elliott?
Yay.
Ms. Gerber?
Yay.
Mr. Thacker?
Yay. All right, this time I'll go ahead one more time for public input, if anybody has any public input. All right, the last thing I'd like to say again, remember 2012 National Night Out is August 7th. We'll have the Big Easy and the Gators band there. Would appreciate as much support from the residents as we could get. Have a big night out, free hot dogs, water, and pop, I believe. So bring the kids and decorate the bikes up and all that good stuff. All right, our next council meeting will be Tuesday, August 14th, 2012 at 7 p.m. That will be our regular scheduled meeting. We will have a special meeting, which will be July 25th at 8:30 here. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion, we adjourn. I know Bob's not here. So in
There's
his
a
honor,
second.
I make the motion.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.